business. You know I'm out to get it. Stay on my grizzly, killing competition. Competition, killing competition. I want it all on focus. Let's go and get it. Go and get it. Set them focus, say let's go and get it. Killing competition, I'm all about it. Spin that bread and make it back. Ain't worried about competition. Put them on cardiac, popping bottles and all of that. You know I'm all of that. I keep the crowd jumping like I gave them a party pack. Call audibles like a quarterback. Roethlisberger, I'm still and killing these niggas. I'm getting away with murder. I catch the wave of the track. I'm gnarly just like a surfer. I'm so hot and I ain't even touched the purple. Me and you, know my dude, we not the same. I'm insane like Cypress Hill in the membrane. Getting money, it's all that's on the nigga mind. Make highlights like Griffin, yeah, that's all the time. About my business, know I'm out to get it. Stay on my grizzly, killing competition. Competition, killing competition.
All right, guys, welcome to the Jeff Mayweather Show. My name is Alexz and I'm joined, as always, by the incredibly lovely Jeff Mayweather and the incredibly intelligent Ashley Ferrara. Guys, how you doing tonight?
That's quite the introduction. I'm great. How are you?
How's it going?
Doing pretty good, guys. Nice show tonight. We got a little later in the show. We're going to be joined by a prospect fighting out of Oklahoma. Someone Ashley knows pretty well, Lydell Rhodes, will be joining us in about half an hour. Also, Layla Ali's ex-husband, former WBU cruiserweight champ, Yahya McClain, will be joining us. But first, we're going to start the show off in style. We're going to start with a heavyweight. I guess we can't call him a prospect anymore. We'll move to the contender category. Bryant Jennings. Bryant, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, what's going on,
I know Jeff's... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was speaking to Jeff. I was just speaking. What's going on? I'm good. Glad to have you on, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it was good to get you on here. I know Jeff's always spoke well of you inside and outside of the ring, so we're definitely glad to get you on here. You know, like I said, he's a fan of yours as well as I am, so great to get you on here finally and be able to talk to you a little bit.
All right.
But, you know, before we get started, though, just do Jeff a little favor here, since unfortunately, you know, he had to run in with you a few months there. Just give us one thing. Third round, at least give a knockdown in the third round.
Yeah, I would consider that a knockdown.
All right. At least you got something out of it, Jeff.
Yeah, I had, even though I had was
we got a bad connection there, it sounds like. You still there, Brian?
He didn't like your question very much, apparently.
I know, that was the quickest interview in history. No, we did lose him. We'll try to get him right back.
I think his real name is Bye-Bye.
Bye-bye, Brian.
Let's try that again. Let's see. Whoop. We'll just call him right into the show.
Yeah, we need the 2 AT&T because they messing things up.
They said they didn't like you didn't like my line of questioning, so you just bolting there.
Yeah, right. That was crazy. That was crazy how you asked that question and the phone just went blank. Yeah, but no, I consider that a knockdown. Any contact, even though I was off balance a little bit, but any contact while you're going down, that's a knockdown.
Yeah.
But I could understand why the refs didn't call it, though.
Yeah. Jeff, before we get started too much, just go ahead and give your thoughts on Brian as far as a fighter and his prospects.
Well, I mean, I think Brian has a great chance of becoming a heavyweight champion as well. You know, I mean, he's probably one of the best athletes, hands down in the heavyweight division. he's still, he's still young. He's still learning too. He's still learning the game, and and he comes to give the people what they want to see. I mean, he comes to fight. He has the one quality that that I'm sure the fans appreciate. The second Bryant Jennings get hit, Bryant Jennings is not going to let you get away with it. It's almost like when you're in grade school. If somebody touch you, you got to touch them back, and that's how he is. He almost like, you hit me, I got to get you back. And I mean, it makes for entertaining fights. But I think that I think the world of Bryant anyway. I think he's a wonderful guy. And I'm actually one of his biggest fans. So, it was unfortunate that I had to come out the other corner against him. But, it was, it's my job. It's a job, and so it happened.
Now, Jeff, what did you think going into that fight that would have been your advantages with Bowie? What kind of things do you think would have worked your advantages and allowed you to win the fight? And ultimately, what didn't work?
Well, I mean, I think that with Bowie, the one thing I think that with any fighter that's in the ring with Bryant is that you can't get that lower action and not do anything. Because, like I said, that mentality that he has, that I'm going to get you, it works. It works for his benefit, And until it, doesn't work for his benefit, I don't see him changing, because that's what happened after Bowie. I think that the best way to fight Bryant is to actually exchange with him. You might not get the best of it, but you may have a chance, because the one thing is this: once you get something off on him, if you take the time to get back on the ropes or do anything like that, he's coming to get you. And if you're not ready, you'll see what happened. You've seen it, what happened with Bowie. I mean, because Bowie took too much time standing on the ropes rather than, trying. And I was just begging him. I said, you got to punch with him. You got to punch with him, hoping that you can catch him in an exchange. But that wasn't the case. And that's partly because of Bryant's conditioning. And I mean, like I said, he's a great athlete. And so, I mean, he's going to be there the whole time and bringing the fight to you. And that's what happened in the fight. Basically, when Bowie went back to the ropes, got comfortable, and it was like he was going to take a little time to rest, that's when Bryant got him. He got him right at that exact time.
Right. Now, Brian, going into that fight, what was your strategy? I know Jeff had mentioned before that, unlike a Malik Scott, who's someone that really sticks to his plan, he's a boxer first and foremost, and that's what he does, and he'll never divert from it. He thought that perhaps that, Bowie being a big puncher and a guy that wants a brawl, that you, even though you have great boxing skills, you might be willing to exchange a little bit. So what were your thoughts going into that fight?
Well, yeah, I think I'm actually better in the exchanges, and I'm actually better on the inside than I am on the outside. Or I can get at least, more. I can be at least more dangerous on the inside than I am on the outside. But I was just, I go in every fight, confident, to where so I'm like, well, if he thinks that it's going to be easy for him on the inside, or when we getting close, then he got another thing coming. And I always know, like, my punch output is crazy because I won't just throw a few punches. I'll make sure that I overwhelm my opponent with a mirage of punches that are coming from every which way. So that makes it difficult. And then on the other end, it's me being able to take, the pressure that my opponent gives me and to be able to just, overcome everything that he throws. That's like a mental, downfall for my opponent. Once you take everything that a guy has, and once the guy figure out that you can't hurt him, then that guy pretty much mentally breaks down. So that was my whole thing, because I also knew that Bowie didn't have he didn't have that strong mentality, to be able to overcome what I had to give to him.
Good. Now that fight basically culminated, what's been a crazy year from you, and it really elevated you up to, among the top levels of heavyweight boxers. But first, I want to get, kind of go back and talk about what got you here. I mean, just tell us about. I mean, are you surprised that I'm sure you're not surprised, but tell us about getting where you're at right now. You had a nice amateur career, 13-4, but no, you weren't some huge standout, and you're kind of like up till about a year ago. Nobody really knew who you are. So tell us about the last year and what's it been like for you?
Well, the last year has been pretty much, I've just been trying to just prove myself. Because I came in the boxing game with this ability. I was already like a workout freak. I was already I came in the gym ripped up already, man. So I didn't have to do anything, and I came in the gym already running my 10, 15 miles. I came in the gym already, already actually not knowing how to box, but knowing how to defend myself. I came in the game with defense. I always laugh and joke and put it back on my mom the way it goes. My mom will always hit us with anything she finds. And once we got a little older, once we got of age, like we was blocking all that. My mom was fast, but we was blocking everything. I mean, we was one hand we had our hand on the door blocking, the other hand blocking the sticks and all that. So I came in the game with defense, but it's just like. It's just like last year, I was just like proving myself, and it was great to see that I had the opportunity to do so, and it probably was a lot of fighters out there that just never had the opportunity to do so. Maybe they held back, or maybe their situation the way they came out just wasn't the right way, and maybe they took the wrong fights. But it just seemed like everything was kind of like, I wouldn't even say tailor-made, because a lot of the fights that I fought last year, they may have expected me to lose. I know for sure my first two fights, I was kind of expected to lose. They thought I was crazy taking a fight on 5 days' notice. Then they thought I was even more crazy of fighting the former world champion, and I only had 12 fights under my belt. And, then like at the end of the year, they wanted to say, well, we want to see if this guy really can, pass these tests. And, they put me in with a hard hitter, such as Bowie, and I just think that everything is just. It's just, I guess it's God's plan, but I definitely had the work ethic and everything to go behind it. But it's just something that I've just been enjoying, and I'm willing and I'm ready to take it to the next level, which I already feel as though I'll be comfortable at, because, my pace is definitely at a fast pace. I definitely can move at a fast pace. I've learned this fast, so, there's no need to slow me down. I definitely got to keep it moving, keep it going.
Right. Now, you had mentioned that, people thought you were crazy for taking certain fights, and I want to bring Ashley in on this and get her thoughts on this first. Your camp had mentioned that you'd like a crack at April 6th at Vladimir Klitschko. Ashley, a lot of people would say that Bryant's not quite ready for that big of a step up. How would you like to see that fight, and what are your thoughts on that, Ashley?
I would absolutely love to see that fight, because honestly, I get sick of hearing about the Klitschkos all the time. And, people try to say that, the American heavyweight division is down, and that just bothers me, because I think that people don't give the credit to the people that we do have in the division. Brian, you're doing an amazing job, and I think that, I think that people underestimate you, and I think that you really don't have anything to prove. You're undefeated. You've won a lot of, and especially the last fight. Very impressive. I have no doubt you could fare incredibly well.
Jeff, what were your thoughts today? You were just right across the ring from him. How do you see that fight playing out?
Well, me personally, I would like to see Brian take a few more fights before he step up there, but at the same time, it's like this. It's one of those situations where the Klitschkos are probably not going to be there, so you have to take the opportunity. It's almost like, being in the sweepstakes, like trying to fight Floyd. Floyd's not going to be there that much longer, so you got to take the opportunity. And so, but I would really like to see Brian fight one or two more fights before he was able to take that fight. But at the same time, I don't think that it'll be that much different, and I think that, this is the time to take the fight. If the fight is offered, it's time to take it, because, like I said, they're not going to be around, that much longer, and, it's just as anybody else that's following.
Right. Now, Brian, what are your thoughts on that fight? And I know they mentioned, or the Klitschko camp said that you're not really on the radar. They're looking at other options. So, what are your thoughts on that fight? And would you like to get in there with Vladimir?
My thoughts on it. I make strong points, and I could just say I can't do no worse than any of the last 10 opponents that they've been in there with. That's first of all. And second of all, speaking on what Jeff said, yeah, this opportunity is definitely here, and I definitely have to take this opportunity while it's here, and I want to be great, and defeating a Klitschko would be great, and we all know that once they retire, that the titles will be all up for grabs, and then it's going to take a long time to accumulate, the type of money that you're really supposed to be getting and stuff like that, and then heavyweight division is going to be being rebuilt, and it's not going to be as great as it would be right now, defeating somebody who nobody could defeat. And I just want to take my shot, and I think I have the tools. I think I have the tools to defeat him, and I know for sure that I can beat him. And like I say, I don't see me doing worse than any of the last 5 or 10 opponents that they've been in there with.
Right. Do you think that they kind of actively avoid the most legit competition out there? I mean, I've heard Freza Kendo being mentioned out there, and do you think that they actively avoid you guys, or what do you think about their choice of opposition?
I mean, they in a good position right now to at least even choose who they want to fight, and I wouldn't say that they don't choose the best. I mean, because nobody else is speaking up neither. Like, it may just be me or maybe Fred. Everybody else is just, people don't talk. They don't even call them out. They don't make no noise. It's like, do anybody at least want to fight these people? Like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Like, it seems like everybody is waiting for them to retire. I was like, I don't know what pumps in your blood, but what pumps in your heart, but it can't be blood. It may be Kool-Aid. I mean, because these people, come on, like, where's the press conferences and call it. I mean, the most. I mean, David Haye does it, but he does it indirectly. He does it in a certain way. But I mean, you very seldom get people that just say, okay, I want to get that shot. Like, if you ask any other prospect right now, they say, well, in a couple of them, I'm like, no, give it to me now. I want it now because I want to be able to do it now. I feel as though right now is a good time. Of course, I would love to fight any other top European heavyweights or any other international heavyweights. I can't see myself really wasting my time with a lot more of these American heavyweights because the American heavyweight division is very shallow, and I can't really gain nothing off of it. A lot of them are just like me, just trying to get to that next level, and they praise the European heavyweights. So why not just go over there and defeat them? I would love to do that before I go to the Klitschko, but like Jeff said, this opportunity is here. You can't pass it up. This is what I work for, and you never know if it's going to come back around. And then if they retire, it's going to be up for grabs, and it's not going to be good.
Right. So ultimately, do you think having a Klitschko on your resume before they retire that will make your career that much more impressive if you're able to defeat one of them as opposed to when they do retire, whoever steps up to be the elite heavyweights at that point?
Yeah, especially if I beat them or if I give them a good run for their money, because like it sets up. I mean, at the end of the day, boxing is not only a sport; it's a business, and you got to be able to create that brand. Market yourself as that number one brand, where so you can go in and you can negotiate bigger deals. Just for you being the type of fighter that you are. I don't want to be fighting hard and then you go into top level at entry level money. You get what I'm saying? It's like I'm trying to do this thing all in the whole. Like, so I'm trying to be the good fighter, trying to be the good trying to be the good businessman at the same time. Because at the end of the day, it's our career. That's what we do, and we put our life on the line. So we gotta make it best. For our in our interest.
Right. Now, Jeff, I want to get off track here for just one moment, but I know you're a huge Freza Kendo fan as well as the Klitschko. So your thoughts on if that fight gets made, Freza Kendo and Vladimir Klitschko, is that something you'd like to see?
Well, I mean, of course, not something I would like to see. I would rather see Bryant fight him, but at the same time, it's like this: the Klitschkos have fought almost everybody there is to fight. So, I mean, Freza Kendo may haven't gotten his shot. So, yes, he's deserving of it if he hasn't gotten his shot. You know, in the same goes for Bryant. But the thing is this, is that, I mean, Tony Thompson's fought the Klitschko twice. Well, somebody else has fought him twice. So I mean, they keep running through. It's like a, you know, I mean, it's like a I don't know what I'm looking for, but basically just like recycling. I mean, the same guys, and I mean, one brother fight him, the other brother fight him, the other. And so I mean, it's time to see a new face, new blood, somebody that haven't even, you know, that haven't had their shot, that, you know, may have a chance. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point, Jeff, but I also think there's little incentive for them to fight better people, because if they're going to get, you know, a pretty large amount of money to fight the same people over and over that they've beat again, and they are coming to the end of their career, like you pointed out, why fight hard competition? I mean, take the easy fight, take the money, put it in the bank, and live well forever. I mean, I could see the incentive not to, you know, take the hard fights.
I mean, that's true, but at the same time, they've dominated already. Some of the guys that were supposed to be the best, they've already dominated. So I don't think it's a matter of that. I think it's more just a matter of they need some new blood in front of them. They need some. That's why Bryant Jennings can get a title shot, is because of the fact that we haven't fought him yet. As opposed, this is some new blood. Let's give him an opportunity. As opposed to, I mean, because these guys have been champions so long, it's almost like they don't know how to lose. But at the same time, there's also a situation in which they're in control of everything. They're in control of what they give you. They're in control of the venue. They're in control of where the fight takes place and everything. So, I mean,
exactly.
Chances are you're going to have to knock them out anyway. And it's better off having somebody in front of you where nobody's ever seen, and as opposed to fighting these retreads that then fought each other over and over and over. And then, like, you have, like I said, Tony Thompson, he gets knocked out by one brother one way, then he gets knocked out the same way by the other brother. You know, and I mean, nobody wants to see that. You know, I mean, somebody, at least they can give a guy like Bryant Jennings a shot. You know, and like I said, Brian is smart enough to realize that, you know, that win, lose, or draw, the most important thing is this, is that when you do come there, if you do get the opportunity, you know, is to fight with everything you got. You know, and chances are, even if you lose, you don't think about losing, but you still have that business mindset that if I lose, even in losing, you still can be considered the next best heavyweight out there, because, I mean, once they retire, all those belts are going to be there, and everybody's going to be fighting for them. And the guy that stays in there that can go the distance with the Klitschko's and give a good showing of himself, that's the guy that everybody's going to say, that's the guy that's going to be champion. You know, so you create a fan base even in that way. It's the same thing, like I said, with fighting Floyd. There's no disgrace to losing to Floyd. You know, he's one of the best fighters in the world, so if you lose to him, you take that what you, and you're not judging by winning or losing, you're judging by performance. So even in losing, you still can say, this guy right here is going to be the next big thing. You know, so, I mean, so that's the one thing about even fighting the Klitschko's. I mean, it's a business venture as well as, of course, you want to win the world title. That's definitely no doubt. I mean, and like I said, I mean, one punch changed everything.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Now, Brian, you had mentioned a few minutes ago, Brian, that you didn't think much of the current American heavyweight pitcher. So none of the guys, you know, the Deontay Wilders, the Seth Mitchells, none of those guys do much for you?
Nah, I don't. Nah, not really. Nah, I mean, maybe in their future, maybe it will, but like not like right now. I just think we on two different paths. I don't even know what they want. I just think that they speaking of Deontay, I just think his mind is kind of like short with things, and he kind of like a kid still. Like he doesn't have that maturity in him to where as though, you know, he's trying to, you know, take over the world. Like I Like my mindset, my imagination is crazy. Like it's not limited with just boxing. I just have like a mindset of just being a great, like the greatest, and I'll do anything and everything to become the greatest. And I just don't see nobody in America, besides, I mean, I see a few possibilities. I won't shoot everybody down, but I'm just saying that, the overseas heavyweight boxing is much better than America.
Right. What about a guy like Malik Scott? Someone's undefeated, has been around for quite a while, and seems pretty determined to get his shot.
I respect Malik Scott. I know Malik Scott personally. He started off at the same time that I'm at right now. Malik has his good boxing abilities. And he does his thing. But I mean, he has his own path to trying to get there too. I don't know whether they actually really want to get there, or do they really want the shot, or what. But I mean, I just don't see similarities in me and a whole lot of these other boxers.
Okay. So then what's next for you? I mean, it appears that Vladimir Klitschko doesn't want to fight you, so, I've seen some names thrown out there, the winner of Banks and Mitchell, says you'd love to fight Helenius, obviously, and I know Jeff's a huge fan of his. Any opportunities that you think are most likely?
Well, yeah, I only say the winner out of Banks and Mitchell because that'll automatically put me in a spot to where I'll be a mandatory fighter. I respect both of them guys. I respect a lot of guys as men. I mean, I don't do a lot of calling out now unless it's called for, but that fight would be perfect. The winner out of that fight would be perfect. The winner out of the Areola and the other, Stavern, whoever he's fighting, that'll be good. Yeah, I'm just trying to go after the big fights, go after the big recognition, so I won't be wasting my time in this boxing game because it only take one shot, and if you lose, who knows how long it'll take you to get back up to where you get, and I just don't want to lose to just anybody. So don't be putting me in with Joe Smo from the bar, and he get a lucky hit, and I go down. I'm like, look, I want to fight the best. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, if I'm going to lose, let me lose to somebody good, please. So I mean, I want to fight. I want to fight top 10 guys. Whoever they talk about, put me in there with them, because I fight better when I fight better opponents anyway.
Right. Now, Jeff, I like doing this to you every week when we get a fighter on here. If you're a guy in his career and then you could handpick the next three opponents for him, who would it be?
I think that what he's thinking is the right thing, and that's probably what I would lean toward is, the winner of Seth Mitchell and Jonathan Banks, or the winner of Areola and Berman. I think that would be, definitely two options. And I don't know. I mean, in between that, I would actually pick, a fighter that I think that probably would give us a little test, but at the same time probably wouldn't have the kind of punching power that, that can generate a knockout, even though anything can happen. But I mean, that's one way of, protecting your fighter in a not so blatant way. You can get a guy out there that, that can actually fight a little bit. You don't want to get a guy that's too cute, but you want to get a guy out there that really probably can't hurt your fighter, but still has a name, and hopefully your fighter, will probably knock him out or at least, beat him, and so then he can go on to the next position to be able to fight for the world title. Like I said, be able to fight for one of those title eliminators, and then basically he's there. And that's the most important thing, because you want to be in that number one mandatory position, because now you're going to get paid top dollar, as opposed to they just picking and choosing you somewhere way down the line, like you may be number 9 or 10. They're going to give you anything they want to, But as a mandatory, they are going to have to give you much, much more, much more money than. So, I mean, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, I mean, Brian, so there's nothing there's no names totally out there right now that you think that you're going to have a good crack at, or?
Not having a good crack at it, because my promoter Russell Tulsi said he actually contacted a lot of these guys, or he actually inquired a lot of these guys for me, and for some reason they denied the fight, maybe because they had somebody else in mind, or they just didn't want to fight, whether they were scared, but they denied. I think he said of course he said your Helena's, and I wanted a Tyson Fury or David Price or Derek Chisora. I mean, all of those guys are just guys to where it's like, okay, these are good fights, because don't call me the best in America, call me the best in the world, like, or amongst the best in the world. Like, people just get wrapped up in time of this, who's the top guy in America. Forget all that. Who's the top guy in the world? I mean, we already know Klitschko and them is up top. Because right now what we have the Klitschkos, and then we got a lot of prospects. That's all we have. That's not really, contenders. Like, and I don't know why these so-called good guys from these other countries are not fighting these Klitschkos. Like, they just sit around, like what's going on with the game? Tell me something. Is something going on that I don't know about? Like, why, how come Klitschko is not fighting Pulev or Alexander Povetkin or one of them? Why? Like, I wonder why.
For you, it seems almost like you're kind of in a tough spot as far as finding opponents, because you're a little too dangerous. You're one of them people that Jeff talked about you don't want to fight. You're a little too dangerous, but yet maybe your name is not quite big enough yet that someone is willing to risk a loss to you, because you don't have quite that name recognition yet. So it's kind of people don't want to really climb in there with you, because it's a no-win situation for them fighting you.
Yeah, I understand that part. Yeah.
Yeah. Last thing I will get you out here. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say they're gonna have to see me sooner or later. Yeah.
Right. The last thing I really want to know, just it seems like you and Gabe Rosado are kind of the faces of NBC Sports. How did that come about, where you kind of became the guy that they go to all the time for your fights, and how's that worked out for you?
Well, yeah, NBC Sports, yeah, they definitely put a big boost in my career. It was, recently, it was in an article or somewhere that they said that I don't talk NBC Sports. I always try to clear that up and say I don't know what the word they were talking about, but I never said anything bad about NBC Sports. But my first fight with them was actually, I took it on a 5 days notice, and we actually saved the show. That was my fight against Maurice Byron. And that was in January. We actually saved the show, and from there on out, a star was born on January 21st of 2012, and they really didn't have. I mean, they could have put other fighters on there, but they had to give me another shot. And then my second shot was with Lydell, and that was just like, well, damn, he deserves another shot, And every time I fought, it was just like, we got to get him back on there. And then it was kind of almost like, by demand that I be on at least, another one of these NBC cards, and it was either that or not fight on TV, which would be stupid for a person that's coming up like me. So I kind of had to be on TV. Everything worked in everyone's favor. It was just like, okay, you got this guy coming up, you got this TV show, you got this TV network here, and why not just put him on here again? It'd be good for the fans. It'd be good for heavyweight division. It'd be good for the promotion. It'd be good for the fighter. It'd be good all the way around. And it just was like, that was a great marriage. That was a good marriage. That was a good thing. 2012 was definitely a good year. And I thank NBC Sports for giving me, all those opportunities. I credit my promotion team for putting me on them cards. But I mean, it was just a good plan.
Well, yeah, we've really enjoyed watching you over the last year. Well, actually, I should say I've enjoyed it. Jeff didn't enjoy it too much the last fight, but other than that, the last year's, been nice seeing you come of age as a boxer and really, improve your stock and get your name out there. And, we look forward to it in the future, lots more of that, and hopefully you'll get your shot at Klitschko's sooner or later. Just go ahead before you go, just, the Twitter and Facebook and that kind of stuff. Let the folks know where they can keep up with you.
You can follow me on Twitter at BY Jennings. Follow me on Instagram at BY Jennings. and on Facebook at Bryant Jennings. Also, you can log on to my website. Right now, it's under some type of construction, but it's still one there. You can still find out a lot of info on there. It's called EliteClass.com. That's class with a K. And I see you around on Twitter. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, and Instagram is my most active social website. So you just follow me on that. You can find out everything.
All right, Ashley, you got anything to add before we let them go?
No, I just want to tell you that I'm so excited to watch you going forward. I mean, you had me on the edge of my seat when you had when you were knocked down those 3 times, but I do love watching you, so I'm very excited to continue watching you go forward. So best of luck to you.
Thank you.
And Jeff, what you got?
Well, I got my customary.
You're just gonna leave with that. You're not gonna say anything but one word.
Okay, I'm saying one word. Bye.
All right, Brian. Best of luck to you, Brian. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, take care.
All right, y'all. Take care.
All right, that was a heavyweight contender, Bryant Jennings. Thanks so much for him joining us. Great to hear what he's got going. Well, I guess not going on. I mean, he's looking for a fight still, but hopefully he finds something that works out for him. Jeff, tell us a little about you. I'm going to go ahead and get our next guest on here, Lydell Rhodes. But what do you got going on?
Well,
what are you still at?
I got King Mo coming up in February. Got Zach Cooper coming up a couple of days right after that. Talked to Celestino today, and actually he should be here in a couple of weeks. So definitely looking forward to that. He's getting ready to fight for a title eliminator for the #1 spot in WBC. And then hopefully, we get past that, then we fight Ponce de Leon the second time around.
Now, Jeff, I have to ask you, have you ever had 2 fighters fighting on the same night, and how do you decide how to handle that?
Well, yes, I had that happen before, and basically what I do is I usually would try to employ one of my brothers.
Okay.
Because, I mean, our training methods are pretty much alike, and so it's not a far stretch from working with me or working with Roger or working with Floyd. And plus everyone feels comfortable with, we're working with either one of us. So, and what's funny, what's ironic is that most fighters that starts with one of us, if they change trainers, they'll go to one of the other brothers, but they won't go out and seek another trainer. And so that's why, that's kind of weird. Steve Force is trained by all of us.
I know
sometimes if you like a girl and it doesn't work out with her sister's always a good option too. I mean,
I don't know about that.
Life lessons.
Well, I know when I look for a trainer, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to probably hire Floyd Sr. I think that'd be the best option for me, Jeff. What do you think?
Hey, you might, because I know one thing. If you're in the new way, you will hit the highway.
All right. Well, having said that, we're going to go ahead and bring on our next guest. He's 12-0. He's got 7 knockouts, so a nice start to his career. He's actually trained by Floyd Sr. Lydell Rhodes. Welcome to the Jeff Mayweather Show, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for thanks for joining us. You're on with Jeff Mayweather and Ashley Ferrara. I guess you know her a little bit.
Yes, indeed, yes. Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great. And you guys should just know that Lydell is one of the nicest, most gentlemanly people that I have ever met. He is a great boxer, but he is also a great person. Such a joy for me to always watch fights. So be nice to him.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but considering that he has 12 fights in Oklahoma and you're a ring card girl in Oklahoma, I'm assuming you've worked some of his fights.
Absolutely. Lydell, the only problem with his fights are they never last very long. And as a ring card girl, it's not always our favorite situation. But since he's such a nice guy, I'll forgive him.
Well, thank you.
Well, now, Lydell, like I said, you're 12-0. First of all, you're from Oklahoma. Tell us about that. All your fights have been in Oklahoma so far. You got another one coming up here on February 16th, I believe. When are we going to see you outside of the confines of your home state there?
Pretty soon. We've been working on some things, behind the scenes about me fighting in possibly Texas pretty soon, and as well as Las Vegas soon. So all that's on the horizon. So, yeah, just be in the lookout for me everywhere this year. 2013 is our year to break out.
Well, I'm selfish.
Now, Jeff,
I'd rather you stay here.
Oh. Go ahead, Ashley. I didn't hear you.
I said I'm selfish. I'd rather he'd stay and fight in Oklahoma.
Well, when he fights, you don't get to work very much, though, right?
I know. I'm selfish. I like stealing the spotlight. So they always kind of steal my spotlight when everyone starts looking at them. So I got to go out and just take my dudes out quick, so everyone just keeps the focus on me.
Now,
right,
Jeff, real quick,
fair.
how familiar are you, Jeff, with Lydell? I know you say he works with your brother. I don't think you guys spend much time in the gym at the same time. So how familiar are you with Lydell and his work?
Well, I ain't really familiar with his work. I'm familiar with his trivia. He don't got none.
Come on. I only missed 2 questions, man. But yeah, for y'all, I think y'all seen or heard the trivia show and know about it. He beat me by 1 point for the title. But I'm coming back. I'm in the lab, researching, studying every day. So I'm ready to get that rematch on, man.
Yeah.
Well,
had I
thought about it, I'd have whipped up some questions here.
He wouldn't have wanted that. That's why I didn't tell you.
I've heard a lot about him, and everything that I have heard is really good. So I'm looking forward to actually get a chance to see him fight. Hopefully here in Vegas. Unless I'm happen to have somebody fight on the card that he's on. Or, maybe one day if I have 2 fights, he might say, Jeff, you go work with him.
Yeah.
So,
Lydell, I just have one more question. Then actually, we'll turn over to Ashley and let her handle the point on this one since she's familiar with you. Just explain how you got the Oklahoma boy guy here to Vegas and hooked up with Floyd Sr.
Oh man, it was just pretty much I went out on the limb and came out here because Oklahoma is it's not really a boxing state, so for me to get to the next level, I just thought that I had to go to the mecca of boxing, which is Las Vegas. So I came out here and I kind of contacted a guy he said that he knew, of the Mayweathers, and I wasn't sure if he did, but he took me to Johnny Toko's gym, and Floyd was in there, and I talked to him and kind of, showed him what I had, and ever since then we've been going. But actually at first Floyd didn't like me, like all of them, they, like me, I came in as a banger, and I pretty much just overwhelmed people because I had speed and power. I didn't really know anything about fighting, but I just had a lot of talent and overwhelmed people. And so after he seen me spar, he was like, I might can work with you, and pretty much took me on as a project, and I guess it's shaping up pretty good, and he's liking me now.
All right. Now, Ashley, I'm going to turn it over to you. So what do you have for Lydell?
I'm going to be nice to him, unlike Jeff, teasing him about trivia.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. On it. I whooped it.
Jeff, we're going to have to do some trivia at some point. I'll come up with some questions for you on ring carding, and you can come up with some for me on boxing. We'll see who faces off.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think he paid off the judges in our little bout. He asked them for easy questions.
He probably did.
I'll tell you what, real quick, we'll settle this trivia thing here. We'll give you a rematch, but just real easy. Give me the title holders. Who can name the most in your most familiar division? So Lydell, actually, I want you to name the featherweight champions. How many can you name?
Featherweight 126. Mikey Garcia. he took Salidos. And then Billy Dibb, 26. 1 second, let me see. The guy he just fought. He's from Puerto Rico. No, he was at 30. Let me see.
Are we talking current?
How long are we going to have, man?
Current.
Yeah, current.
You're giving this man a month.
Ponce de Leon, he's one.
Hey,
Yeah,
you're not
you
involved in
can't.
this.
You can't be helping.
Yeah.
I think we'll accept that answer. We'll accept that. That helps.
Yeah, they're teaming up on me, man.
So that's what you got. You want to choose. All right.
If you
I was
can pay
going to
off
give you the ones
judges,
that.
we can team up.
So we didn't get Fortuna, Chris John, or Nicholas Walters there. Jeff, I'm going to give you Lydell's division in lightweight.
Hell, nobody. I don't know nobody.
All right, then I guess you get your revenge, Lydell. If you could name 3 of the 4, we'll call you winner.
Okay, you have Broner, Ricky Burns, and Miguel Vasquez. Quez, haven't pronounced his name. There's 3 of them.
Yeah. And then Richard Abreu. Okay, well, there you go.
Winner, and chicken dinner.
Hey, how can you get somebody in their own division? They're supposed to know.
No, I gave him featherweight division. I gave you lightweight division. You couldn't answer
any.
any.
You turned around and gave it to him. You should have gave me my division.
I think it's too late. It's a done deal. It's time to him delivered. I won.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Ashley.
Well, I don't know if y'all know this, but Lydell will probably have a hard time. He can talk about this a little bit because I would love to hear what it was actually like. But for one of his fights in Oklahoma, he actually came to the arena by helicopter. So he's going to have a hard time matching that in Vegas, even though those are pretty flashy entrances. But Lydell, I'd actually love to hear about how it was kind of, if you prepared any differently, what it was like. I mean, were you nervous about being in a helicopter right before the fight?
Yeah, anybody see me, I'm short. So, short people in Nashville, we're scared of heights. And so he was like, we came in, we were brainstorming because me, I don't like to be ordinary. I like being extraordinary. So, all my interests, I try and do something. And so we were just brainstorming, like, how about a helicopter? And then I was like, yeah, not really thinking it was going to go through. And then, when I was like, all right, we're doing it. I was like, oh, man. And so we were supposed to kind of rehearse it a little bit or something, but we never did because, fight days are always, like, crazy, and we were behind schedule. And so I went out there and got on there, and when I landed, I didn't know we were going to have, like, cameras outside either, so I thought that people were just going to be looking, and I didn't know they were going to have all the screens of me walking in. So I jumped out, and, like, it's cold outside, so usually, I have an intimidating look on my face or something. I jump off the helicopter, and I'm freezing cold, so I'm just shaking and stuff and looking like I'm about to cry and everything, walking up to the door, not knowing that everybody's looking at me. But it was still a good time. I went out and did my thing, and, I jumped off the helicopter with Santa Claus. So that was memorable, too, because he popped out with me and had a jacket and gave me a jacket, kind of like a Christmas present. So, it was cool.
That's awesome. I think you might want to teach 50 Cent about some unique intros, because coming out of the ceiling was, I feel like I've seen stuff like that before, so you might want to help him out with that.
Okay, yeah.
But how is Vegas comparing to LA or to Oklahoma right now? I mean, tell me what the temperature is like, because I want to be jealous.
Well, actually, the first couple of weeks of January, it's kind of cold out here. But now it's getting good and warm. Like today, I actually was sweating just walking around. I don't know, I might be fat, but I think it might be to the temperature, too. But, yeah. That's not a good thing. I'm fighting in a couple of weeks. I know, yeah.
Yeah, Lydell, tell us about that fight you got coming up.
I just got an opponent, Lionel Griffin, I believe his name is. He's pretty much another journeyman, but he's supposed to be tough and durable guy, southpaw. So, got to go get a lot of southpaw work. So, yeah, I'm just, right hands, left hooks, all that good stuff. And we're going to handle business like we always do.
Jeff, what do you do? Are you talking to yourself or what?
No, I was telling him I know his opponent. I used to train him.
Oh, you did?
Still mad he lost. He's still mad he lost trivia. He's just reminding himself of all of the weight class winners.
No.
So actually, well, go ahead real quick. Yeah, we got our next guest. We join us in 1 second. But yeah, real quick, Jeff, what do you know about his opponent? Or you don't want to tell him?
No, I tell him. I mean, at one time he used to can fight, but I mean, he can't punch. And to be honest, I mean, he shouldn't really have no problem with him. I mean, he's been knocked out in the last 2 or 3 fights. So I mean, he's a guy who basically now that he's just really fighting just to be in boxing or probably looking for a payday. Because I mean, at one point in time, he really was a good fighter, but I don't know, he took a wrong turn and obviously hasn't found his way back to the direction that he should have been. So shouldn't have no problem with him. I think that if you pressure him, and because I know that I've heard good things about you, and I know that you're probably chances are you're stronger than him. Stay on top of him and try to take him out. He's been knocked out his last 2 or 3 fights, so that means that he will go.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and tell the folks that want to keep up with you with this fight and that kind of thing, what's going on with you, the social media type stuff.
Oh, yeah. Check me out on Facebook at Lydell Rhodes and at Twitter at Hackman Rhodes. So follow me and, my career, and we're going straight to the top.
All right. And you're more than welcome to stay on with us. We'd love to have you stay with us, but we're going to go ahead and right now bring on our next guest, too. Former WBU cruiserweight champion, Yahya McClain. Yahya, welcome to the show. You're on with myself, Jeff Mayweather, Lydell Rhodes, and Ashley Ferrara.
Yo, what's good, man?
What's happening, man? You got that good weed?
Hey, man, you are stupid, boy. Yes, sir. Not I. Those days are over. Those days are over. Now, don't get me wrong. There was a time where I was the man to call for just that purpose.
Yes, I know.
I have one question for you, and then I'm going to turn it over to Jeff and let him handle it. First of all, Yahya, where did that come from?
Yahya is my Muslim name. It's Arabic, and it means John the Baptist. Well, it comes from John the Baptist, and it means the ever-living.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got that cleared up. Jeff, I know you had a special request to bring this man on the show, so what do you got for us?
Hey, wait, listen, before we simply let me just say this. This is how funny and how God works. I was on the phone with Lydell Rhodes yesterday, sitting in a restaurant talking with him.
Well, he's still on. Lydell, you're still there, right?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hey, is that crazy, man?
I know, yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, I didn't want to interrupt, but yeah, that is crazy.
Hey, no, okay, you interrupt all you want. We freestyle it here, so feel free to jump in whenever you need to.
Okay,
so what's the conversation about?
Well, his mom's was a friend of mine, and we were at the restaurant having breakfast, and was talking to him about his career because he was talking about fighting a guy named Antonio Davis, and I used to work with Antonio Davis. And, we were just talking about the possibilities of that fight happening for him in the near future, which would be just like what Jeff was talking about with his next opponent, would be a very good opponent for him, considering that Antonio Davis has fought for the world championship at least 4 or 5 times and has never won. He's always come close but never could capture it. And it would be a good fight for him for where he is in his career.
Right. Now, of course, Jeff spoke nice of him on the show, but, outside of the show, he's always said Lydell isn't very good. What are your thoughts on Lydell as a fighter?
Well, I'm always keeping 100. I haven't seen Lydell fight. I haven't seen him throw a stab. However, with just about the company that he has been keeping and the people that he's around, I already know. If he can't fight, he'd have been left Las Vegas. Because them Mayweathers are going to let him have it. They going to tell him the dirty truth.
And Jeff, you let that slide, huh? I'm saying that.
You always saying stuff. Everybody already know it ain't true.
I don't think Lydell's ever listened to you before, so he has no idea.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with a little honesty. If you're not going to make it, you're not going to make it. Get out. I mean,
no, that goes back to what I said at the first beginning. Like when I first walked in the gym, Floyd told me he didn't think I could fight, but after he seen me spar, like he was like, okay, I'll train you for a little bit to see what you do if you progress and stuff. But that's like what I said at first. Like he wasn't going to train me at first, so he was just being honest. But that's what I like, honesty.
Yeah, that's what it takes. You can't have no little feelings involved in boxing. You got to be thick-skinned and to be able to make it in this fight game, especially mess with the Mayweathers.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, how did you and Yahya get acquainted?
Well, I landed in Vegas. Dude came up to me and tried to sell me a bag of weed. No.
I thought we just talked about honesty.
To my brother.
Come on. Jeff, honesty.
Yeah, lots of seeds in the weed.
Y'all laughing. I'm thinking like, did I do that? I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait a second. Hey, before we keep going on, let this man come on here and talk what he on here for. And that's about the book that he wrote. And I know it's going to be, it's a book that anybody that gets a chance to read it, I mean, it's a lot of funny stories in there, a lot of boxing biggest names in there, a lot of crazy stories that, that I'm sure anybody that buys this book, they're going to enjoy it. So carry on about what's going on and why you're here.
Okay, well, first let me just clear up. I did used to sell drugs. I definitely did. No, I never tried to sell Jeff Mayweather any drugs. The way that we met, the way that Jeff and I met, Jeff's brother Roger was my trainer. When Jeff came to Vegas, Roger was training Jeff. And quite naturally, we all hooked up. And, we used to hang out. We used to train together all the time, hang out together and all that, shoot pool and all that kind of stuff. That's how Jeff and I met. But, yeah, so I wrote a book about my life. And the reason I wrote the book about my life is because the way that society has just kind of ignored the things that matter, I kind of wanted to write my book and my life story to show to you and to show the grown people that it does matter, because I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I made a lot of good things happen in my life. I made a lot of money, and I'm still here. I've been in a lot of shootouts. I don't have any felonies. I've never been shot, never been robbed, never been hurt really bad, and I've done a lot of bad things. And I've gotten away with it, and I've made it. So God has kept me here for a reason, and that is for me to share my story with other people so that they don't make the same mistakes that I do, so that they can see. Because I'm not like someone telling you, don't do this, and I've never done it. I've done it, and I've seen the gruesome things that happen from doing these things. So my life story is very exciting. It's kind of like a movie because it talks about love, the struggle, trying to make it, boxing, violence, drugs, sex, women, celebrities. I mean, it talks about it all. And at the end of the day, you'll end up rooting for me because I turned my life around. And now I have a foundation, the Absolute Awareness Foundation. And the Absolute Awareness Foundation is a foundation I started to fight obesity in the youth. But lately, I have been doing more mentoring because of the bullying that's going on in the world today. So I really like to mentor these kids, teach them about taking care of themselves, about eating properly, staying focused, and learning to fight and stand up for themselves. And when I say fight and stand up for themselves, I'm not talking about just in street violence and in the classroom. I'm talking about in corporate America, in the real world. You can be bullied, not physically, you can be bullied mentally or in the workplace. So that's the reason I wrote my book. And being married to Layla Ali, being an ex-world champion, being an ex-Marine, I went to college, I sold drugs, I used drugs, I had lots of money, I lost lots of money. I mean, you pretty much going to get it all. And I think that my book is just a reminder or a teacher of some very valuable life lessons.
Right. Yeah, touching on that a little bit, I'd like to get, well, we have Lydell still here, and, you know, both your thoughts on this. You know, Lydell being a guy that's, you know, younger, starting his way in his career, and then you are someone that's already been there. How did boxing, you know, affect your life positively or negatively, you know, as opposed to where you might have been without it?
Well, you know, I started boxing at such a young age. I really don't know life without boxing. And because I've always been a fighter, I don't really know anything other than to be who I am, and that is, you know, the person that I have pretty much always been. So I know that boxing for me is just something that has always kept me hungry and wanting more and wanting more and wanting to get to the next level. So it's something that has always kept me striving for greatness, you know. And as a result of that, I've learned how important it is to take care of your body and you know, work out and stay physically fit.
Right. And Lydell, for you?
Me, I got into boxing really late, actually, like later than the average person. I only got into it pretty much, I've officially been boxing for about 4.5 years, but I started training about 5.5 years ago, but it was in MMA. And so, but pretty much I was always an athlete, so like I wasn't really out there in the streets, that stuff like everybody else, like all my friends. So that's why if you come to any of my fights in the city, I have so much support with my friends and family, everything. Like my shows always sell out because I was always the dude, you know, in neighborhoods and stuff who was trying to do the right thing when everybody else was out doing something else like partying or, you know, out selling this or breaking into people's stuff. I was always just an athlete and just dedicated to sport. So I figured I'd be a success whether I fight or whether I go to college and make that happen down that road. I just wanted to be a success, and that's what drives me every day. This is the road I chose to fight, so that I'm going to make it happen for me. But I wasn't really the one, that case like where without boxing, my life would have just been a downward spiral.
All right.
So you're like a Jeff Mayweather.
Yeah. He went to college, everything. Yeah. Kind of like that, yeah.
Well, you know, Jeff is really falling off the deep end. You know, like I said, he's fascinated with weed. That's all he's really focused on these days. So.
Who got it?
You know, we can't even get a guest anymore. We're having to pay people to come on because all Jeff wants to do when they come on is talk about weed. You know, you mentioned Layla. The first thing he asked her when she came on the show was, "Hey, you got any good weed?" I mean, there's not much we can do with them. So
sounds like somebody got a problem to me.
Nickel bag.
And actually, that's why we have Ashley. Ashley's his current dealer, so now she has to be part of the show.
Hey, Ashley used to be a dealer. Jokes about it. You got to make jokes about it, but that was definitely the way that I supported my career. The way I took care of my daughter. That was a bad decision that I made at a young age. It brought me a lot of good from it, but it brought me way more bad than the good.
Yeah.
Way more bad than good.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of fascinating stories, so you got to have at least one good one to share with us about Jeff.
Oh man, I got a great one to share with you about Jeff. Jeff, let me tell you this. Jeff is not no snitch by no stretch of the imagination. Jeff took a fall for Roger and went to jail. His first time ever going to jail was for Roger. And I'm not going to tell you no more. You guys got to read my book. And still, the memoirography of Yahya McClain. You read my book, and I guarantee you, you're going to have some stories that's going to make you laugh, and some that might make you cry. But this story about Jeff being the fall guy for Roger is one for the ages.
Now, Jeff, you said, didn't you wrote the foreword, Jeff? Is that correct? And what was that like getting to write forward for a book?
I don't know. It's just share, what my relationship is with him. Hey, I mean, I was high, man.
No, what I want to know is when you wrote it, who had to edit it? Because as a person that had to edit your writing on several occasions, that must have been a nightmare for somebody. So was that you, Yahya, or somebody else?
Yahya, I did it break forward.
Hey, listen,
one paragraph.
Don't get it twisted. Listen, don't get it twisted. Jeff be on here playing with y'all. Jeff is a highly educated college graduate with a degree. The brother.
No, I'm not knocking intelligence. What I'm knocking is his given a shittedness, or whatever you want to call it. Because when he writes to me, he says, "Screw it, I'm not writing paragraphs. I'm not worried about punctuation." He doesn't care, and it's not that he can't; it's that he doesn't care. So I get stuck with it.
I heard the hardest part deciphering it was the fact that he dots all of his I's with hearts, so it really just makes it hard to tell, his letters.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty. Hey, look, let me tell you this. There's no I's in my book dotted with the heart.
That's because Esther changed it.
Mine might be dotted with bullets, might be dotted with boxing gloves, might even be dotted with a dot of coke.
All right, Jeff, you got any stories that you want to share?
Hey, no, but listen, guys, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, guys. I'm laughing and I'm joking, but on the serious side, I wrote my book because I wanted to help people change their lives or better their lives and learn from my mistakes. Because, again, my book is full of celebrities. So whenever you have celebrities involved, it's going to make the audience, you're going to have a captivated audience. And when you have truthful stories, ups and downs of going and doing some of the things that I've done. Like I wrote, directed, produced, starred in my own movie. You know what I mean? I've done so many things, and I've been blessed to do these things, and good and bad, and I'm still standing here healthy. And I truly believe that God has a purpose for me, and that is to help people change their lives or better their lives. So I really strongly suggest that people want to be entertained or educated to pick up my book, And Still, the memoirography of Yahya McClain. And you can get that at yahyamcclain.com. You can go to Amazon. You can go to Kindle. You can go pretty much anywhere online to find my book, And Still, the memoirography of Yahya McClain. And that's at yahyamcclain.com, yahyamcclain.com.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a really cool book. I'll have to pick that just for... What?
Sound like Antoine Fisher to me. Still steady. I'm still strong.
Hey, Jeff, do you have any good story you want to share?
And I can play chess.
Jeff got out the munchies, I'm telling you, see?
Oh, y'all can hear me eating?
Jeff, you need one of those life-size chessboards at the gym. That would be awesome.
I don't even know how to play chess.
Well,
Jeff, give us a quick...
You're not shoot pool either.
Yeah, right.
Give us a... Well, I know he does. I bet he knows how to play dominoes, though.
No, I don't play.
Why?
I don't know how to play
dominoes. Why would he know
how
to play dominoes? He can't even count.
All right. Jeff, give us a Yahya story before we wrap things up here.
Well, I'll give you a Yahya story, but it's not really my story. It's Roger's story. I don't know if Yahya, I'm sure he put this in the book. Maybe, can I put this one out there?
What is
Yahya? You know what I'm talking about, the press conference.
Oh, yeah, it's in the book.
Okay, we give him a little bit of that. Give him a little bit of what that is, or what happened that day.
Or you want me to tell it?
No, I want you to tell it, because you can tell it better than me.
Okay, well, basically, Roger was training both of us. And I was supposed to be fighting a guy that I fought in the amateurs. and lost to this guy in the amateurs. And then this same guy we had several street fights with. He was in a gang, and I guess I was supposed to be in a gang, but I wasn't. But we had a lot of street fights together. And I ended up fighting this guy in the pros. Oh, yeah, by the way, he shot my brother also. He shot my brother. During one of those street fights, this dude shot my brother. So anyway, we were supposed to fight, a professional fight. Long story short, I broke my hand and didn't want to fight. We go to the press conference, and Roger gets on the podium in only the classic Roger Mayweather style that only he can. And he says, hey, now y'all know I'm supposed to be training 2 fights. Y'all want to know why I'm only training 1? I'm going to tell you. Yahya McClain's a chicken. That's right. Yahya McClain's a chicken. And I'm sitting there like, what? So Roger basically threw me under the bus and told the world that I didn't want to fight the dude because I was a chicken. So I had to fight the dude. And y'all got to read the book to find out what happens. But I can tell you this. There's nothing like you thought. It was a crazy, crazy turn of affairs.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it's definitely something I know I want to pick up, and like I said, anyone that's listening in, I think is gonna want to pick it up too. As far as the other stuff, you explain how to get the book, the other stuff like the Twitter and that kind of stuff. You do any of that stuff?
Yes, I do. It's at Yahster, YAHSTER, or Yahballa, YAHBALLA. And Facebook is Yahya McClain. Facebook is Yahya McClain. And my website again is YahyaMcClain.com.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and send out on Twitter. We'll send out a link to the book so folks can pick it up if they want to. Like I said, it sounds like a really cool book. Anything with the Mayweathers in there is gonna of course be interesting. Jeff, anything else? We'll go ahead and wrap things up. Anything else you want to throw in there, Jeff?
No. I mean, I'm glad that you got a chance to get Johnny on because I know some of the stories that's in the book, and I know it's a great read for anybody that's willing to go out and buy it and and get a chance to read it. So I'm glad that I finally got a chance to actually, we've been friends for about 25, 30 years. So I'm only 31, so I've known him since we were babies. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, you gotta have. Ever like to pick on Jeff's hair? Do you have any Jeff's hair stories?
Hey man, look. You remember Natalie Cole, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know her daddy, right?
What's that?
Nat King Cole.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Say no more. There you have it.
Nat King Cole, Jeff. That's you, huh?
No, that's what they used to call me a long time ago.
Hey, Jeff don't got nothing in his hair. Jeff don't got nothing in his hair but juices and berries.
That's it. and moisture air.
And moisture air. Exactly. That's what I used to tell them about Atlanta.
All right, guys, on that, we'll wrap things up. And we'd love to have you back anytime. I appreciate you joining us tonight. We had Bryant Jennings on the first half of the show. Ashley, I'm going to let you wrap up Lydell there since you know him best, so we'll let you go ahead and say goodbye to him.
Bye, Lydell. Thank you so much for coming on. I will hopefully see you on the 16th.
Okay, thank you, and hopefully I'll see you then.
Yes.
See you guys later.
All right, Lydell, thanks so much. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Anything else you want to add before we let you go?
No, man, just thanks for having me on, and, if you guys want to do round 2, let me know. I'm down.
Yeah, we'll definitely bring you back on to do some trivia.
Lydell does usually get to round 2, so that's quite an honor.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Did I miss the trivia?
Well, no, not really. They They did it on a different show. Apparently, Jeff smoked Lydell there, so they had this kind of
Whoa, smoke about one question.
Okay.
Win
by 2 to win.
Well, you know, I said if you're down for something like that, I tell you what, we'll come up with something. We'll put a little twist on it so we're not ripping off anyone else's deal. And we'll have our own little version of something. If you're down for that, we'll bring you and Lydell back on in a couple of weeks, and we'll do that if you want to join us for that.
Okay, cool.
I think we should have teams. It'll be me and Lydell versus Yahya and Jeff.
Let's do it.
I like the Oklahoma connection.
Y'all definitely gonna lose.
We'll probably get to be one.
It's gonna be a blowout.
All right, well, I'll come up with something different. We'll put a twist on it. Give me, I guess your fight's the 16th, Lydell, so I guess the week after that, the next 2 weeks, we'll schedule that and bring you guys back on for some trivia.
All right, let's do it.
Sounds good.
All
right, guys, thanks for having me on. Remember, get that book, and still, the memoirography of Yahya McClain.
Most definitely.
All right, we'll be sure to, like I said, we'll post a link up for that. And thanks so much for joining us. Ashley, go ahead and Ashley real quick, tell people where they can keep up with you.
You can follow me on Twitter at Ashley Ferreira or Instagram at Ashley Ferreira Model. So any one of those are great, and I appreciate y'all again for another great week.
All right, and you can follow Jeff at
radio show.
What, Jeff?
I was going to ask you. Appreciate her too.
Oh, no, it's fine. Thank you, sir.
Well, we got Lydell or someone talking to a gas station attendant, so we couldn't hear you. Now, Jeff, what you said, Ashley?
No, I was just saying we appreciate her being on the show as well.
Yeah.
Aww,
well, you know, we got to get. All right, then.
For another week.
All right, guys, I'm out.
All right. Jeff, now where can folks keep up? I'm putting you on the spot, Jeff. Where can folks keep up with you?
The weed spot.
Jeff Mayweather.
What's your Twitter?
At Jeff Mayweather.
His Twitter's Jeff Mayweather 1. Follow him there. Of course, ProBoxingInsider.com or ProMMAinsider.com. Check those out. On Facebook, you can go to Jeff Mayweather's Pro Boxing Insider. You can go ahead and like that and keep up with our articles and stuff there. So on that note, like I said, for Bryant Jennings, first half of the show, appreciate him. And then last half here, Lydell Rhodes and Yahya McClain. Thanks so much, guys, for joining the show. We'll have you back on in a couple of weeks and do some of that trivia stuff. So for Jeff Mayweather and Ashley Ferrara, my name is Alexz Iserman. And guys, hey, we look forward to talking to you next week.
All right, cool. Peace.
Peace.
1, 2, you hear the clock ticking, tick tock, you about to stop living, tick tock, I want you to remember me, tick tock, but the day don't have no memory.